Savage Octane. One of, in my opinion, one of the best Savages, one of the best cars that HPI have ever come out with, in my opinion now. What a really fantastic car. Now, I've actually been running this a couple of times since the last video that you saw it. I still haven't gotten around to mending or adjusting the throttle. So that's what I'm going to do now, and let's have a look at it together, because there might be some of you lot that need to do the same sort of thing and you're not quite sure how to do it. I've never, well, I haven't ever had to adjust the throttle linkages on an Octane before, but looking at them, they seem to be just the same as any other throttle linkage, so we should be able to work through it together without any problem whatsoever. I'm actually in the middle of filming, not right now obviously, but I'm in the process of filming a whole series for Nitro, and it's for beginners. I've done a few videos in the past to try and help beginners, you know, give advice, things I've learned over the years, things in my opinions, and just facts basically, because in my opinion, from watching all the videos on YouTube, not all of them, but there's a lot of them out there where people seem to want to make it seem more complicated than it actually is, which I don't like, because if you're a beginner, not for me personally, because I don't get daunted by things. If I want to do something, I'll do it and I'll learn it. You know, I'll learn whatever it takes to do what I want to do. That's my view, my take on things. I don't really care what other people try to make things out to be. I would find my own journey towards it. But not everyone's like that, and I understand that. So if someone wants to get into Nitro, they come onto YouTube, they search it, they have a little bit of a search, find all these people that are making things far too complicated with bloody temperature guns and all this other bollocks. And it might put them off because they think, "Boy, this is a lot of faffing around. I don't know if I want to do this," and they don't do it. That's why I'm making a series with all the basic facts that you need. So if you're interested in that, stick around. Or by this time it might already be up. Go and have a look on my channel, find the playlists and watch them all. It might help you out. Right, I've just had to go and get this because I haven't got many RC cars, but the ones I have got, I haven't got enough space to keep them all. So I don't keep them all at where I live. I keep them at friends and family. Well, not friends, I haven't got any friends. I keep them at families' houses, here, there and everywhere, because it's just easier. And I haven't got any space where I live, you see. So when I want one, I go and get it and bring it here. And then I bring it back again, etc., etc. It's just easier, as I say. No space here. Nothing. Can't bloody move as it is, let alone with an RC car all over the floor and everywhere. So I'm just nipped out today, got this one because I thought to myself, I want to get this. It's my mission to get it running absolutely mint. And do you know why it's my mission? There's two reasons why it's my mission. The first reason is because if you look anywhere, everyone always says that these Octanes never run right, never ever ever run right. Well, that can't be right, can it? So I'm on a mission to prove that these run brilliantly when you look after them and when you set them up properly. I'm a big fan of HPI, always have been ever since I got the Savage 21 back in 2003. I think it was 2003. And then I got a Rush Evo, and I've always loved HPI. I think they're a brilliant company, and I think they make great cars. Not all of them are great, but they make some good ones. Well, they did anyway, before they got lazy. But that's beside the point. Number two is, well, I just really like it. So obviously I want it to run the best it can possibly run so that I can enjoy it. That's the whole point. And on that subject, I'm going to use this shell as, because it's a little bit scratched already. We've got a little crack there in the corner. So this is going to be the shell that I'm going to use on it. But if I can get hold of a mint condition, brand new shell, I'd like to get hold of one, because then I can have a shell to put on it to make it look nice, and then a shell that I can use when I go out and about. I don't really care about scratching it up, because it's a very good looking shell and a very good looking truck. I think they made a great choice when they designed this shell, because it just looks absolutely brilliant. I mean, you just can't get any better, and that exhaust pipe is the best one you can get. The silver one they put on the second lot of them doesn't look as good as this one. I mean, they say they changed it because the colour fades, but that's the whole good thing about it. I mean, the colour fading makes it look good. Anyway, let's have a look at the linkages. By the way, I've seen a few of those battery charged. I've seen a few of those shells for sale for £88, £90 for one shell. No way am I paying 90 quid for a shell. Would you pay 90 quid for a shell? Absolutely not. If you would, good on you. Anyway, so I've jammed the air filter out of the way. If I can find an air filter what comes out and goes like that and sort of sits here, I think I'll definitely do that, because I don't mind the design of this one where it kinks down there, but I think it's a bit daft, to be honest. I'd rather have it sort of just coming out at an elbow and then coming straight and sitting here. It's not going to be in the way of the petrol cap or anything like that. It's just going to come out straight, and I think that would be a lot better. So I don't know whether any places did different filters for this. I haven't even bothered looking. I've literally just thought about it just now. So if you know of any places where I can get a filter for this that fits on there, and it's just an elbow, comes up, and it just comes out and sits there, then let me know. I might consider, don't know if it would work if I cut that. Anyway, we'll think about that later on. So, linkages. There's the throttle. Very short linkage, very easy. There's full throttle. Let's tick over. Full throttle, tick over. Now we can see, I've only got one hand. I'm going to have to put you lot on the tripod, but there's a lot more to go than that. It's not fully open. Let's take the air filter off actually, so I can show you that. If I can just pull it off. No, you have to cut the cable tie. Bear with me. Well, I've only just noticed, seems to be a little bit of plastic going across that. There's like a little bit of mesh there, and that's designed to sort of sort out the airflow and all that, I reckon. Seen similar things like that before on different engines, but there seems to be a bit of plastic going across it there, look. That there. I don't know if that's supposed to be there or not, so let's take off these two nuts and get this off, and we can investigate that. I've never noticed it before. I've only just noticed it. Interesting. There we go. So I've got the top of that off now. Some idiots decided to cable tie all these wires to the cage, so I can't get that off. I don't know what idiot done that. Must have been some random bloke that worked on it before. Anyway, so it's a little bit of plastic. I reckon that's supposed to be there. Perhaps it's a bit of a reed valve, maybe. I'll take that off anyway. I've got to take it off anyway because I want to show you the throttle. But I wonder if this is a bit of a reed valve or something like that. I don't know. Maybe you lot will know more than me, and you'll put it in the comments. There's that little piece of plastic there. That's the little tiny piece of plastic that I was talking about. Oh yes, it's all floppy. Look, that's a bit of a reed valve sort of configuration, whatever you want to call it, I reckon. So we can take that off so that we don't lose it. We don't want to damage it. I dare say there'll be people in the comments, some of you that might be saying, oh yes, if you take that out it'll perform much better. It's a common modification, you know, to take this off. Take that little piece of plastic out and it'll go much better than it did. Well, that may be so. Right, so we can see down there, that first butterfly is the choke. Look, if I turn the choke on, that's choke. That's choke off. The second one down there is throttle. And it turns out we're actually getting... Oh no, we're not. No, that's not quite full. Look, it's not quite all the way open. Looks like it is from there. But if we go there, we can quite clearly see it's not all the way open. And if I had an extra hand, I could push it the last little bit and we'd see that. Right, so let's have a look at our linkage now then, shall we? Right, so I've been playing around with this. Now, in my opinion, this is just my opinion from what I'm doing. I dare say there might be a common fix for this or something, but I don't think that servo horn there is long enough, because this is maxed out. That's full throttle, and that's absolutely maxed out. That horn is at its longest length. Right, even, you know, I've played around with the two springs, I've played around with the two collets. Now, I can't get it to go to absolute full throttle. There is a bit of play where that screw is there. You can see that there's a bit of play in that. See that play there? Now that's definitely not helping at all. There's a bit of play in there. That could do with a new one of those, really. But it's not worn, so that's obviously how it's supposed to be, but there's too much play in there. But that horn, if that horn was a bit longer, you wouldn't have any of this problem. It would be able to reach. But we've got more or less full throttle. Now on these petrol carburetors, you can see down there, you can see the throttle moving. And you can see it's not quite hitting on the stop, so we know that it's not quite going to fall. So I'm going to have a little play around with it. I haven't got any longer horns. If I had a longer horn, I'd put one on it and see if it made a difference, but I haven't got any to hand. So I'm just going to have a little play around, see if I can make it any better. But other than that, I'm probably just going to leave it like that, and then later on in life buy another horn. While I think about it, I'm just going to... We've got roughly half a tank of petrol. Now, in the last video, I said to you that it was running about 25 to 1, because that's what I was using in my bike. That one there, 2-stroke. That one, CR85, that's not got anything in that one. I'm going to put some neat petrol from here into there, and then we'll put that in it and thin it out a little bit. Changed my mind, I'm using this can. That red one, I must have put 2-stroke in that red one at some point, and all the petrol's evaporated and left the oil behind. I don't want oil. Now, for those of you that don't understand what I'm doing, the oil in here, the petrol in here had too much oil in it, right? So how do you get around that? How do you make it less oily? Well, we've got half a tank gone, right? So if I put some neat petrol in there now, just petrol on its own with no oil, and fill it up, it will then thin out the oil. You know what I mean? It'll make it, well, it'll make it less oil, basically. So that's what I'm doing. Well, bloody try and get it in there without spilling it. I could get a funnel out, but I'm not going to bother with that. Spinning a little bit, but nothing to write home about. That's for sure. Oh yeah, there we go. Now these tanks are one of those tanks where you get a lot of air bubbles. So if you just sort of do that, the air bubbles should work their way out. There you go. Blop, 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 blop. Don't know if you can hear it or see it. These air bubbles, oh, you probably can't see, you're too far away. There we go. I've just realised what I said and what you might have thought I meant. I didn't mean the air is going to find its way into the carburetor. I just meant I filled it up to the top and there's air inside the tank. So if I let the air out, the fuel will go down and I can put the lid on. That's all I meant. I didn't mean the air being in the tank is a problem. It's not a problem at all. I mean, the tank's not pressurised, you know, so it doesn't matter that there's air in there. I just thought I'd better explain that, because some of you are going to turn around and go, it don't matter about the bloody air, does it? Blah, blah, blah. I know that. That's what I'm trying to explain. Anyway, let's get back to this linkage. Well, I've been playing around with it for some time now, and I think I've definitely got it the best I'm going to be able to get it with what I've got. The culprit is the amount of play in that little linkage there. There's quite a lot of play in there, and that's not good at all, really. And that little ball joint, it's like a little ball joint. And no, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to... That is most of the problem, along with that. So in the future, I'm going to buy a longer horn. It needs to be a little bit longer, so that when it pivots around, it's got a little bit more reach on it, and that will get us the absolute full throttle. What we've got at the moment, how can I let me try and rig this throttle up. Oh, bloody thing. I might be able to do that. Right, okay. So we're on full throttle now, right? And it's almost open, right? But I can still do that. See, that's without me touching it. That's me pushing it. So we've still got that tiny little bit. Now, some of you will say that won't make any difference. But believe me, that will make a small piece of difference. You know, that is the difference between actual full throttle and not quite full throttle. But it's nothing where it's, you know, it's going to be I don't do full speed runs anyway, so I'm not all that bothered. But just because I like when it comes to engines and carburetors, I like things to be good and proper. You might not think I like things to be good and proper. Maybe I don't come across that sort of person, but I do. When it comes to engines I like to run. I like them to be good and proper. You know, if I can, I will do it. So I'm not that bothered about a little bit of dirt and stuff, but I like things to be, engines themselves to be running good and proper. So that's what I'm going to do. Right, let's tidy up all this mess, get all that together, and I've got loads of other stuff to do, so we'll go and see what else I can do. I thought that battery charger had it, but it's charging at an amp now, which it wouldn't do before, so I'm charging up a glow starter there. I've got a glow starter charging up here, I've got a glow starter charging there. I've only got one lead for this one to charge that, so I can only charge one, but I've got another glow starter there that needs to be charged up. Now the weather's starting to get a bit colder. It's not all that cold. It's only 8 degrees. It's 8 degrees in the day, 8 degrees at night, sorry, and during the day it's about 13 degrees, which is unseasonably warm for this time of year. I don't know why it's this warm. Even the trees have still got their leaves on. There's bumblebees buzzing around, and we're in bloody November. Very, very strange. But it's cold enough where the batteries in the glow starters, the batteries in the hump packs and all that don't really hold their charge as long as they do normally, because batteries don't like the cold, and we all know that. So I'm charging them all up, keeping them all maintained and charged, because I don't want them to die. You know what I mean? I don't want them to lose their life sort of thing, lifespan. I want them to stay good. So charging them all up, and I'm going to get some things ready, because hopefully at the weekend I'm going to be able to film some more for my little beginner Nitro series. Bit of a sneaky peek. Done a few more little things to me Rush, and I'm going to hopefully take that out for a little bit of a drive, and just to get it perfect. Now there's more or less nothing else to be done with it. I mean, I've just looked over it and I can't find anything else. I dare say something will break tomorrow. Not tomorrow, well, maybe tomorrow, depending if I get the chance tomorrow, but it might be in a couple of days' time. When I take it out for a run, I dare say something will break, something will happen, but at the moment it seems to be pretty perfect. So pretty excited to go and get it. I've just got it on charge to make sure my battery pack, the hump pack in there, is as charged as it's ever going to be. Charging up the last two of my glow starters now, because as I say, I want to make sure they're all alright. I'm not going to obviously use all of them, but it's nice to keep them charged up. And I'll see you lot on the next one, whenever that may be, whenever I next see you. If you're watching, even if you know what you're on about when it comes to RC and particularly Nitro, even, you know, if you're watching the little series that I've currently got going, I'm going to try to put up a couple of videos a week. I mean, it might be one video a week, I'm not sure yet on that series. I don't know how long I'm going to draw it out for. More fireworks going on. But if you're watching it and you've got anything to add, do put it in the comments, you know, because obviously the people who are trying to learn about Nitro will also be reading comments. So if you've got something useful to put in there, do put stuff in there, you know, because just because the way I do things works for me and it's always worked for me, doesn't mean that it's, you know, other ways won't work for these people who are trying to learn. I won't have it when people say, when people are saying Nitro's dying and all this bollocks. It ain't bloody true. Do you know what I mean? It just ain't. The fact is that people aren't interested in learning something because they're lazy. The modern generation is very, very lazy, and it's not helped by the people putting videos up, you know, all over the place, saying all these things that make Nitro sound more complicated than it actually is, because it just puts people off. And the last thing we want is to put people off. You've got to think. The companies that make cars, RC cars, they're going to make what sells because they want to keep making money. That's what they want to do. That's the ultimate goal of a business, is to make money, right? All this stuff about we're here for you, we're making the best stuff for you, is bollocks. It's not. They're making the best stuff that sells to make money for them. That's what it's for. It's a business, right? RC manufacturers are a business. So they're going to make the best things that sell, which is electric at the moment because everybody's lazy. So if we can kind of help people who are interested in Nitro, do a bit of research and they come across all this stuff, if they come across videos that outline the facts where it's not as complicated, as people make out. It's extremely simple, and you know, hopefully then they'll get into it and they'll start to learn. The thing is, it's like anything in the world. It can be as complicated as you want it to be. I don't like complication, I like simpleness, which is why I don't bother with all the thermometers and temperature gauges and all the other bollocks that some people do play with, because they like complication. They want things because they think if things seem complicated, it makes them seem cleverer and smarter. It's always the way. It is the way it is. You'll find it in the world of work as well. You know, we've all got that one or two idiots in the workplace, wherever you work. I know I've got quite a few where I work. You know, the job that you do is, if you know what you're doing, for my particular job, for example, it's simple. You know, it's straightforward, I should say. It's not easy to do. It's difficult to do, but it's straightforward to understand and to do if you don't add all the complications. You keep it simple and you just do the job. But there's always those people out there that come with all these different things. Oh no, well if you do this, you must do this, you must do that. To do that, you must do this. No, you don't. That's going around the bloody bushes and making it sound more complicated to make you seem smarter. Not at all. You know, just straight ahead. What needs to be done? That. Okay, do it. Very, very simple. So, it's the same for Nitro. Anyway, that's enough talking about rubbish. I'll catch you a lot later on. Treat people nice. Treat people how you'd like to be treated. And we should all have a nice, happy life with any luck. And I can't wait to go and drive that Nitro Rush. Ooh, love a Rush Evo. See you later.